Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Card Talk, a podcast where we spend a little bit of time talking about cards from Lord of the Rings, the card game. I'm your host, Dave Walsh.
And I'm Grant Thompson, just along for the ride.
And today, we're going to be talking about Friend of Friends. It's a one-cost, neutral attachment that is a condition that goes on your hobbits and gives them +1 to every single one of their attributes, including hit points, and it has a condition attached to it that you have to have 2 in play in order for them to count. In order for it to work. So, Grant, this is from the Mountain of Fire saga box. What do you think of Friend of Friends?
Well, I don't actually have it in actual physical card, but it's one of those cards I have played with on the digital platform. And I actually like running it in my Hobbit deck. Or one of my Hobbit decks, I should say. It's probably one of the most jankiest cards that doesn't always get out into play because you need 2 of them rather than just the 1 to get that stat boost. But I love the artwork for this card. I love the quote from Sam. It is probably the most iconic quote that Sam says. "Come, Mr. Frodo, I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you and it as well." It's just one of those cards that I think is iconic to Lord of the Rings. And probably is the most anticipated cards to see how they would get that introduced into the game, because obviously Sam and Frodo throughout the series of books became closer and closer with the friendship, and it was like, right, well, how would they transfer that into card? And in the Mountain of Fire, they did it justice with this Friend of Friends, because it does exactly what it says. He's being the best friend he can by carrying Frodo to finish the quest. Although I think it would be slightly quicker if Sam just carried it the last mile of the journey and threw it into the fire himself.
may have saved Frodo a ring or a finger.
Well, exactly. Because right. He had the ring from the battle with Shelob. He could have just continued on, got Frodo, and then continued on the journey and threw it in. But no, he had to be the good guy and give Frodo, who was already corrupted by the ring back.
Right. Yeah, this card, I think, from a gameplay, is borderline broken in the way that it buffs hobbits. And I say that because it's one cost, and yeah, you need 2 of them in order for them to be effective or to take effect. But it's one cost, and you get a buff to 4 different stats, to each of your 4 different stats. And so it's the cost versus benefit for this is amazing. And just so everybody's clear, it doesn't say you need both copies in order to play them. You just need both copies in order for them to them to take effect. So you can put one out on the board and let it sit there, and then when the other one comes out, then you can do that if you're playing cards with discard effects and things like that. So the idea of this card is amazing, like you said. But the buff that you get for two cost, right? You get 2 hobbits that end up being really powerful. If you think about what it does to Sam gets the hero leadership. Sam will get 4 questing, 4 willpower, 2 defense, and 2 attack.
And that's not including his own buff.
Right, and then So this card is in my opinion one of the most that's borderline broken. Now I think what the idea was is that, because you need two, you need to kind of throw a bone to the players a little bit, but still, like, it's just, I don't know, it's very, it's very good for us players that like to play a Hobbit decks.
Yeah, like I said, it's only probably janky because of the fact that um, it's you need both of them in order to get the stat boost, which makes it work. But at the same time, you've got to have both of them out there to make it of use. And
One of the other things that I think makes it janky, or not janky, but almost broken, is the fact that it's a neutral card. It's not even in a sphere, so you can put it in any Hobbit deck with any Hobbits. And so, I don't know, like, from a gameplay, game creator's point of view, I just feel like this card is really, really powerful for any sort of Hobbit deck.
you'll get no argument from me on that one.
Okay, that's it. Right? Because it's not. I was going to say that this card doesn't combo with anything other than Hobbits, because it's designed for just Hobbits, and it's not going to go into any deck other than Hobbit decks, because you have to attach. You have to attach to a Hobbit, so you need at least two Hobbit heroes that you're running. So, I think that there's not much to say about what combos with this. I think that this is the other end of the combo where you're trying to do card draw, where maybe Bilbo is the reason why you. Maybe this is the reason why you use Bilbo to get a second card in your hand each time to make sure you get friend of friends. But having said that, I don't think you're necessarily losing anything if you have the right Hobbit deck by not having friend of friends, because I think because of its jankiness, you're not building a deck thinking, oh, I have to get friend of friends out, because you need two copies and things like that. So I think that there's not much more to say about this except for what we've already talked about.
I totally agree. So do you want to ring this card?
Sure. On a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is the one card to rule them all, and 10 is the worst card in the game, I think that I like this card, but I think that it has a lot of limited uses, and so the more episodes of the show that I do, the more I realize that I need to rate cards a little bit based on their usability in all sorts of decks that I play, and I only use this card in one deck that I've built and kept together, and that's my Hobbit deck. So while I love the card, I think it doesn't have broad appeal, and for that reason, I'm going to give it a 4 rings. How about you, Grant?
Me, I'm also going to give it a 4 rings because of the fact that it's a card that you can use, but it doesn't always come out onto the field when you need it to, obviously needing both parts to actually have it working. So yeah, 4 rings from me as well.
This is right.
And I am not mistaken, there is only half a dozen cards that we've actually got exactly the same.
Well, that's good.
Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th card in 32 episodes that are getting the exact same rating from both of them.
Well, that's not bad.
So
great minds think alike, you know. So this is where you introduce the next episode.
Yes, and join us next time where we will be doing Tactics Eowyn.
Have a great day, everybody.